The kingdom's only hope to stop the dragon's rampage is to sacrifice her, as she has been chosen to face the fearsome creature. Get ready to relive the adventure as we recap the story of action and fantasy film today. Damsel, production year 2024. In the opening scene of the film, in the kingdom of Aurea, the king and his knights embark on a journey through the hills in pursuit of a dragon. Upon entering a cave, the dragon flies in and breathes fire to kill most of the knights in one go. Then she uses her tail to capture the remaining knights one by one. Finally, she approaches the king, who kneels in acceptance of his impending fate. Many centuries later, in a land in the north, Floria and Elodie, they're the daughters of the Lord and are trying their best to help their people who are suffering from hunger and cold. This kingdom is quite poor, winter is ravaging the land. More and more people are leaving every day. Suddenly, the sisters are taken aback as they witness a carriage passing by, an uncommon sight since visitors rarely grace their presence. Elodie, the protagonist of this film, is the princess of this kingdom. A prince from a grand kingdom has proposed to her, which has brought immense joy to her father, because he feels that if Elodie's relationship is fixed, then the situation of his kingdom will change. Elodie finds herself in a situation where the royal family of Aurea desires her hand in marriage to their prince. At first, Elodie firmly declines their proposal. However, Bayford changes her mind when he points out that their town will receive enough money to save their lives for many years to come. While getting married, they journeyed to Aura Kingdom. When they neared the island, they witnessed dragons in the sea storm. Once they land, Elodie liked this place very much bigger than her palace. The servants take them to their rooms, were shown to them to rest. Elodie heads to the balcony to enjoy the scenery and sees a girl her age on a nearby balcony, who is soon taken away by a maid. That night, Elodie can't sleep, so she was standing on this balcony and looking outside. Then she sees the fire in the distant mountains. Anyway, in the morning, Elodie's family meets the royals. The queen tells Elodie's dad that I agree to this relationship, and sends Elodie to spend some time with Prince Henry before the wedding. Elodie asks the prince if he is being forced by you for this marriage. The prince says no, not at all. I found you very beautiful. Elodie asks about the torches she saw last night. The prince says yes, those mountains are very important. In a cave inside it, we have some old rituals, which will be held after our marriage, and we will go there on the wedding day. Meanwhile, in the castle, Lord Bayford finishes discussing the deal with Isabel and looks very upset. Lady Bayford tries checking on him, but he snaps and promises nothing is wrong. She decides to talk to the queen, who doesn't take it well. When Lady Bayford explains she thinks the families should bond and get along, Isabel says this is only a transaction born out of necessity. She needs a princess and Bayford's land needs money. In the evening, a worried Lady Bayford goes to tell Elodie that there's something suspicious going on, so she thinks the wedding should be cancelled. But before they can discuss things further, Elodie's dad also comes here, who took her mom away from there while talking to her. It was clear that he also wanted to hide something. The next morning, the maids help Elodie get ready for the ceremony. She's given a beautiful dress that includes a blunt dagger and a diffuser with perfume. The wedding goes well. We see Elodie's marriage with the prince. Elodie was going to those mountains with the prince, in which she saw fire a few days ago. They go up a rocky set of stairs and Elodie is shocked to find a bunch of people wearing creepy golden masks. Not to mention Isabel dressed like a nun. The queen gives Elodie a coin saying she'll be helping protect the kingdom. Then they go inside as Isabel shares a story. When their ancestors arrived on this island, they discovered a dragon lived there as the last of its kind. The dragon attacked the villagers soon as it saw the humans settle down, so the king gathered his soldiers and tried to fight the beast. However, the dragon killed everyone except the king, who had to give up his 3 daughters so the island could be shared. After that, this dragon never attacked our kingdom. Since that day, we have been doing this ritual till today. The queen put a cut on both Prince and Elodie's hands, and joined their hands, and tells them that from now on, you both have become one. Prince carries Elodie in his arms. Elodie was embarrassed, but she was also very happy because she didn't know what was going to happen to her the next second. Prince picked up Elodie and dropped her in a pit. As soon as she fell, Elodie fainted. She wakes up moments later with various bruises on her body. She shouts for help, and here, the sleeping dragon regains consciousness with her voice. When no one comes to help Elodie, Elodie decides to climb up, but her place was very slippery. She was falling down again and again. We see that there was a lot of girls' stuff lying here. Suddenly she hears a noise and turns around to notice a light inside a cave, so she goes inside to find a bird on fire. Elodie immediately uses some dirt to put the fire out, but it's too late, the bird is already dead. Suddenly a roar echoes in the cave and hundreds of birds on fire come out, flying above Elodie for a few minutes before they drop dead around her. The fire was of the dragon. Elodie was terrified to see the dragon, and here, the dragon asks her, "What is your name?" After telling Elodie the name, the dragon tells her, that you have come here under a deal. In return, I will kill you today, because I smell royal blood from you. Before anything bad happens to Elodie, she runs away from there, and the dragon sees her running away, and attacks her with her fire. While running away, Elodie came to a small cave, but she could not escape the dragon's fire completely. Her foot was badly burnt. She tears off her clothes and ties the wound on her foot. Elodie could not give up. She had to run away from here at any cost. She rises and begins to explore the area. As she walks, she notices a blue light. Following the light, as she approaches it, she discovers that it was emanating from a tree. Elodie wanted to approach the tree, but there was a large pit in the center. She had to find a way out. She decides to jump from here, but her one wrong step put her life in danger. She was about to fall into the pit, but with the help of the knife in her hand, she saved herself and came to the other side of the pit. The blue light coming out of the tree was actually some small glowing insects on that tree. Elodie tears off her puffy sleeve and puts a bunch of slugs inside to make a lamp for her. Then she walks a little further and finds a small lake, but when she tries to drink, she immediately spits the water out. It turns out the cave plants give it a disgusting taste. However, there is also dripping ice on the ceiling, so Elodie stands under it to catch any drops. Elodie opens her eyes to discover the dragon comes up and attacks her with her fire. To save herself, Elodie runs away again. Elodie hid again in a small cave. Inside the small cave, Elodie discovers a message on the wall that reads "Safe here, she cannot reach," signed by the letter V. Looking around, Elodie finds the dresses of numerous girls and their names inscribed on another wall over the years, including the V that belonged to a girl named Victoria. She was very tired of all these things. She falls asleep. Suddenly she starts to glimpse the spirits of those who were sacrificed before, experiencing pain, fear, and betrayal. Victoria writes her name on the wall, only to suddenly turn around and tell Elodie that it's all a lie. And when she wakes up, all the insects she had collected in her dress were sitting on her wound. Seeing them, Elodie gets very nervous, and when she picks up those insects with her wound, she sees that her wound has healed completely. These insects were of great use. Taking a closer look around, Elodie notices a map displayed on the wall, suggesting that a girl had found her way out before. The map shows 3 different routes in the tunnel, with the middle one being the correct choice. Following the crystals and the music will guide her to safety. Elodie then removes any obstacles from her dress, leaves her mark on the wall, and heads down the middle path, disregarding the dragon's menacing growls. Elodie, aware of the crystal's sharpness, tears more fabric from her dress to shield her hands and feet. Then with the help of the crown she starts climbing up, unaware that the dragon is watching, accidentally breaking a crystal under her hands. This causes her to slip, but she manages to grasp the crown just in time. Suddenly, Elodie hears the dragon nearby, prompting her to quickly ascend and eventually make it to the exit. But this place is very dangerous. There is no way to get down from the top of the mountain. Now she was crying. She wanted to shout at someone, but no one could hear her from so high. She hears the sound of some horses running here, and in the meantime, a dragon comes in front of her. Before the dragon attacks her again, Elodie comes inside the cave, and notices another message on the wall saying "Not safe" signed by V. Nearby there's a body, meaning Victoria died there and never got out. The dragon gets her fire ready. The dragon's attention is diverted by voice calling out Elodie's name, while the dragon flies off to investigate. Meanwhile, Lord Bayford arrives with 2 knights and a guide, determined to find Elodie. They descend into the cave with some rope and start searching the area. Elodie hears her dad's voice from the cave below, and from here, Elodie also gets down to go to her dad, and on the way, she sees a lot of gold, and 3 broken eggs of the dragon, and remembers Victoria's words. She understood that the story that the queen had been lying, the dragon hadn't been the last of her kind. A flashback reveals that actually, when the king came to this cave many years ago, he saw that there are 3 eggs of the dragon here, from which 3 dragons are coming out. The king killed the children of these 3 dragons, and the dragon is still taking revenge on them. This scene cuts and shows us a scene from the past, where the king is begging the dragon for his life. Then the dragon said to the king that "I also want to see you suffering. I will need 3 children from each generation of yours. After taking their sacrifice, I will let you and your kingdom live in peace." The scene comes again in the present. Afterward, Elod finds her father and his men, but she doesn't show herself yet for where Elodie's dad was calling out to his daughter. And then the dragon comes in front of him. He says to the dragon that "I have come to take my daughter back. Even if I have to fight you for this, I am ready to fight." The dragon says to him, "Then call your daughter here." Elodie's dad says loudly, "Elodie, wherever you are, don't come here." As soon as he says this, the dragon gets angry, and she stabs one of her nails into Elodie's dad's chest. Seeing her dad dying in front of her eyes, a scream came out of Elodie's mouth. The dragon starts searching for her, but luckily at that moment the guard also makes a noise and the dragon goes after him thinking it's Elodie. Elodie comes to her dad. He was saying to Elodie that "I am dying because of my sins, but you have to stay alive. Go, your mother and sister are waiting for you on our ship." As soon as he says this, he dies. Then she uses the rope left by him to start climbing out. Meanwhile, the dragon had seen her. Elodie, who manages to climb fast enough to avoid the flames that now cover the entrance. Elodie immediately gets on her father's horse, but only rides for a few moments before jumping off to hide under some rocks. The dragon was behind her to attack the fire, and in anger, the dragon burns her horse. In the distant palace, the queen was watching all this. She was also angry and says that all this is happening because of Elodie, and "I will fix everything." In the ship, Floria, who was watching the fire in the mountains, suddenly the queen comes on this ship, and kidnaps Floria, because her plan was that now she would give Floria to the dragon instead of Elodie, and save her kingdom from the dragon. Lady Byford attempts to intervene but ends up getting stabbed. In the moments later, when the fire is over, Elodie comes out of hiding and bumps into Lady Bayford, who came all the way here on a horse while still bleeding. When Elodie hears what happened, she promises to save her sister and takes the horse back to the mountain. Meanwhile, Florida is taken to the bridge. However, Henry refuses to do the ritual with the child. Isabel ignores him, where the queen cuts her hand and Florida's hand, mixes her blood in Florida's blood, and throws it in the pit below. The time Elodie had also reached the cave, everyone is gone and an unconscious Floria has been caught by the dragon, who doesn't kill her yet because she wants to kill Elodie into coming for her sister. Elodie back into the cave with the rope and uses her previous experience follow the same path much faster. After double checking the map, find the dragon's lair. Elodie arms herself with her father's sword and prepares a trap for the dragon. This trap consists of some armor and rope. It is shown in the scene that the dragon was sitting with her dead children and was telling Florida that, "Your Elodie killed my children. I know that she will definitely come to save you. I will enjoy killing her more than killing you." Here Elodie, to distract the dragon, makes some noise inside the cave so that the dragon knows she is coming, and as soon as the dragon goes to the other side to find her, Elodie comes to her sister. Before Elodie saves her sister and takes her away, the dragon comes here again. While Elodie waits with her sword out, she tries to explain that they've all been tricked by the queen, but the dragon doesn't believe her, and tries to breathe fire. Elodie stabs her mouth with the sword. Elodie says, "No, we are not their children," and to save herself Elodie turns back. She falls into the water. She was in a lot of pain now. The dragon grabs her again, and injures her with her nail. Elodie attacked her eye with her dagger. The dragon was angry with this attack, as she throws Elodie away and attacks her with her fire, but by colliding with the stones there, the dragon's own fire started burning her. The dragon was very hurt after burning, and now Elodie tells her to look at the wound on my hand. In the same way, by cutting and mixing their blood with us, and made it royal blood and presented it to, we are not their children. They are living in peace in their house, and sacrificing innocent girls like us, and you didn't do anything good to them. Just like they killed your children, you are also killing someone's children. After knowing the truth, the dragon becomes very sad, and tells Elodie that my punishment should be that I die. So kill me. But Elodie does not kill her. Then she grabs a bunch of slugs and puts them on the dragon's body so she can fully recover. Meanwhile, in the castle, another wedding is being celebrated so they can trick the third girl of this generation. Suddenly a coin comes rolling down and Elodie walks in, telling the bride to take her family and run away. Then Elodie tells the locals they can also run away if they want. The queen says, "Oh girl, what do you think? If you've survived the dragon, and you can scare us, that what harm will you do to us alone?" Elodie says, "I am not alone." As soon as she says this, the flying dragon in the sky comes up to this palace. The dragon had also destroyed the entire palace with the royal family here. Her revenge was now fulfilled in the right way. After that, in the last scene of the story, we are shown that Elodie, her sister, and her mother are in this kingdom. They are preparing to return to their kingdom. Elodie now tells her mom that, "I am sure that you'll take the treasure of this kingdom in replacement of my dad, will also run this kingdom very well." Listening to this, her mom is very happy, and they go to their kingdom, where the dragon was also going with them as Elodie's dragon. And showing this story ends here. Thanks for watching.